I wanted to do evolution in the left-right political thing. We're going to be a bit more nicer on this video. This is a video from Atheist Atheist. He is a subscriber. We've had a couple of debates. We disagree on some political things. I uploaded a debate between myself and him and some other people on Islam and Islamophobia to the channel, and people are probably familiar with that. We can just watch some of this. He's an interesting guy.
Science based on evidence
in the facts. This is the evidence, right?
As we know with the regressives, they like narrative over fact.
Yeah, it's Lalo.
So even if you give them facts, that's scary. Then they just get angry usually.
Right.
Feelings, nothing more than.
I really wish feelings weren't such a big part of some people's political analysis. Most of these classical liberals like Dave Rubin are obviously interested in making a difference in the lives of people living in other cultures. But wouldn't it be cool if they first made an honest, scientific attempt to understand the political opposition living in their own backyards?
Outside of the right wing, which, as classical liberals, we are like, okay, the Daily Show kind of banter, get it. We don't care.
So I see what he's getting at. So basically, if you identify as a classical liberal, you're supposed to be familiar with the political opposition in your own country. Well, we already are. We already are well aware of Republicans. We refuted every point they made. We got bored of them. Now they've become a joke that the Daily Show rips on, and we moved on to Islam, and we moved on to fixing stuff in our own community.
Yeah,
because that's a more challenging pursuit.
I'm not understanding the point of this video.
Well, I get what I'm gathering from it is that people who identify as classical liberals should spend more time criticizing people on the right wing rather than addressing Islam or addressing the so-called regressive left. That is what I'm getting from it.
Right, but on the Daily Show,
Those guys are ridiculous.
No, wait, what?
Those guys are ridiculous. We can laugh about Fox News all day.
The best quote I've ever found to explain our...
What the fuck is this?
I really don't know. I think he just throws in random music sometimes.
Yeah, what the fuck is
I think
this?
it's supposed to be funny.
Can you see that?
Yes.
And
on the other hand...
You hear his voice.
Yes.
All
Brilliant.
Right. Let's go.
And disillusion or subjection to foreign conquest through a growth of individualism and personal experience that makes cooperation impossible. These two opposing forces endanger every society, and the ideas behind liberalism and conservatism have evolved to meet these very real challenges. Many people inside these two distinct communities believe the world would be a utopia if they could just annihilate their political rivals. But many smarter people, like Bertrand Russell,
Well, again, I'm not sure who sent you this video and why. What was the point they were trying to make? If this is something that I've made videos about, I'm not sure what the fuck the point of this is.
Well, I actually found this one, and the reason I find it interesting is one, the apparent responsibility of people in this quote-unquote classical liberal movement to have to address conservatism. And also that somehow this dichotomy between liberalism and conservatism, he's going to get at how this is, it's evolutionarily designed, I guess, is what he's getting at.
Okay, let's see.
Understand that's likely not the case. Healthy societies contain both of these constituencies for a good reason. Liberals intuitively understand the dangers of stagnation, always seeking to improve society and avoid the perils of ossification on the right, while conservatives understand intuitively the dangers of abandoning the traditions and institutions that have protected, served, and stabilized society up until now. While progressives...
Okay, this is where I call a false dichotomy, because if you look at the political landscape now, we've actually added a third group.
Well, what he's doing, he's lumping us in with the progressives without realizing that the current community of, if you will, liberal-minded people are actually concerned with both of these things. We don't want to ossify. We want to continue to move forward. We despise stagnation. But we also recognize the fact that this constant divisiveness is the problem. That this dissolution is the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. There is the people on the right went really far right. The people who were going really far left went even further left. And now there is this group of classical liberals like us that are pretty moderate. We have left leanings, obviously, but fairly moderate compared to everyone else. And that's where the conversation has moved to. At least in America, I mean, it's fun to laugh at Fox News, but really, there are heftier things to discuss.
Even on the right, there are heftier things to discuss than fucking Fox News.
I just think it feels like beating a dead horse. Like,
and it feels weird coming off of two Rebel Media videos. I mean, we're not fucking with Fox because we're dealing with the Rebel Media group. I mean, what are we supposed to do here?
But even they, like in the Gavin McInnes clip, is parroting typical right-wing talking points that have been, heard and refuted 100 times. It's fun to do because it's easy to do. We've already all done it. We've spent the last couple decades shitting on the right wing. It's too easy at this point. I need a challenge. I need something worth discussing.
Seriously.
Understand change is good for any healthy society. Conservatives understand too much change can be dangerous or disruptive. These two communities move history forward in a sort of zigzag pattern through a process of change, resistance to...
We call it the pendulum. This isn't new, friend. What do you think you're accomplishing here?
And it's not necessarily I don't like the classification, but I don't want to see this bouncing between extremes continue.
Well, it never was before. This is new. This is because of the thing he described in the beginning, but I'm not sure what he thinks he's doing aside from defining the point so many people already have.
Not only is he lumping in liberals with the progressives, but the whole point is that this is supposed to break the status quo. This is a new kind of political movement. Enough with the zigzag. Oh, because isn't that the definition of stagnation? This has happened throughout history, so let's just let it keep happening? No, fuck that. Let's have a different discussion, because the discussion we've been having hasn't been working. If it just keeps going back and forth, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, it's like that's why so many of the new conservative or the new liberal group is ex-conservative and ex-liberals.
Yeah, and good on them. I don't understand why he's trying to limit what Lalo does, what Dave Rubin does. Like, oh, you guys, you need to understand your political opposition. They fully understand their political opposition. It's called the regressive left.
Yeah, exactly. And
those are the two big players now. Progressive left, classical liberals. Fuck everyone else. They, what, do we want Tommy Lahren to get in here and drop her 2 cents? No. It's not worth having that discussion.
It's a ridiculous idea.
That change, and then a new synthesis between the 2 points of view. Like the day and the night, or the seasons of the year, these forces are not at war with one another, but create an evolutionarily stable balance within a larger system. Right now in America,
we needed to know our opposition, but now they're not at war. Actually, it's a really peaceful, beautiful thing. Do we need to balance the seasons? Like, what?
In the same way,
opposition or not?
Human biology churns out males and females. You believe gays make up a certain percentage of the population, and there have been scientific studies aimed at understanding why. Understanding political diversity in the same Darwinian light is just as important, as well as the key to understanding both religion and politics. But you'll never
Did he just say that homosexuality and politics were akin?
Yes.
That's something that's potentially genetic, and something that is... a political leaning are the same thing.
Studies have been done. We know, I think we have a pretty good idea that homosexuality is introduced within the gene pool to, help. It's a birth control mechanism for the most part. That it serves a biological use. But no, you don't have biological leanings towards religion or politics. These are man-made concepts that nature had no idea about.
Yeah, it's just a bizarre concept. Is he just gonna leave? Okay, let's see what else he has to say here.
More Lalo.
You know, we kind of grew up on this idea of multiculturalism, that it's good to be accepting of people of other nationalities, other cultures, other religions. And okay, that's a good idea. But at the same time, we're against racism, homophobia, and all this stuff. So we have this crossroads where, okay, we have to be accepting of other cultures, but it turns out a lot of these cultures are have some of the worst liberal values we've seen. They're extremely conservative.
So is he taking issue with the use of the word conservative there? Because the definition for the word conservative that he himself used earlier in the video directly applies to Islamic cultures.
Yeah,
they
that's
are
the problem.
conservative cultures.
So it's still an extension of true liberalism to be critical of Islam because of how extremely conservative it is. And but because we happen to lump in Islam, Islamists, Muslims, and Islamic apologists who tend to be left-leaning, then you don't know your political opposition.
Yeah.
No, the people who happen to be liberal, who are defending extreme conservatives, are just as bad. Just because they believe in abortion rights. Oh, good for them. That's a given. That doesn't mean, it's almost this idea like you have to stay in your camp. You have to be on your side. You know, you can't talk about this. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, well, it was bizarre. It's like, did you not want him to use the word conservative? That's really the issue you're taking with this scenario.
It feels like that to me. But
what a bizarre fucker.
Yeah. Atheist Atheist is a nice guy, but he has some pretty wacky views.